Welcome to our program. Today my guest is Daniels Kurz. Kate has recently become conversation leader in the Caring Economics Leadership Program based on the work of Dr. Ryan Eisler. Dr. Eisler is the author of The Real Wealth of Nations, Creating a Caring Economy, a book which helps connect the dots between economic success, the well-being of human and natural infrastructures, and the visibility and value we give to the work of care and caregiving. Welcome, Kate, to our program. Tell us a little bit more about Dr. Eisler and why the Caring Economics Leadership Program was created.
Dr. Eisler is an eminent social scientist, attorney, activist, and author. She's the only woman to have been included in a book of 20 great thinkers that includes Hegel, Marx, Adam Smith, called Macro History and Macro Historians. Her books explore, in particular, The Chalice and the Blade, which is an international bestseller, how deep patterns of cultural beliefs impact human beings. Her passion for this work began when she was a child and the Nazis invaded her native Austria, and later as a refugee living in Cuba. Her quest is really to discover why is it that human beings who have such a deep capacity for caring and compassion and understanding live in a world that is so filled with cruelty and insensitivity and injustice. I've been particularly interested in her work that proposes that when women are economically empowered, that becomes a primary lever for economic health, environmental sustainability, and overall quality of life for all human beings.
Thank you for that. What is exactly caring economics then?
Well, our present economic system has a lot of faults and is currently not working. So while these economic upheavals that we're facing can be painful, they do present an opportunity for change. What we need, according to Dr. Eisler, in this critical time, are economic systems that recognize the real wealth of nations, which is not necessarily financial. According to Dr. Eisler, our real wealth consists in the contributions of both people and of nature. So what we need is something that we haven't had, and that is economic systems that value this kind of work, the work for caring for people, starting at early childhood, and caring for nature. Now, we're not really used to hearing economics and caring in a sentence, but that's largely because this work of caring has been relegated to women, as well as the economic systems that we rely on were developed at a time when the contributions of the entire female half of humanity were not even taken into consideration.
Are you proposing then a system different from capitalism?
Well, I wasn't the one who said it. It was actually Einstein who said that we cannot solve our current problems with the same thinking that created them. Marx, who is the father of what he called socialism, and Adam Smith, who's the father of capitalism, both created systems that did not place any value on caregiving. And in both systems, the work that was traditionally relegated to women, or the work of care, was considered reproductive work and not productive work. So the work of caring for children, caring for our households, was keeping a clean and healthy home environment, was not only undervalued, but it wasn't even accounted for. Even in the workplace, these activities are largely performed by women and generally paid much less. Here in the United States, we don't really think anything of paying our plumbers $50 to $100 an hour, the people to whom we entrust our pipes, while we pay our child care workers, the people to whom we entrust our children, a mere $10 an hour, according to the U.S. Department of Labor.
Very powerful statistics. What needs then to be done to move our culture in the direction that you're talking about, the direction of caring economics?
Well, both Smith and Marx made the work of care economically invisible, and that's what needs to change. But in order for us to move in that direction, a transformation of our system of values needs to occur. We currently have a gendered system of values. My previous example of the plumber and the child care worker demonstrates that work that is not typically associated with care and caregiving is generally paid much higher. As Dr. Eisler is fond of saying, this is not only not logical, it's actually pathological. But we've become so accustomed to this devaluation of women, and frankly, the devaluation of anything that's typically associated with the feminine, that this distortive system of values is rarely noted. Our job is to make that visible and to change it.
Are there examples you can give of nations that have made this sort of investment in caring for people?
Sure, and the economic rewards have been great. We tend to see this typically in nations that score very high on the United Nations Human Development reports, as well as the World Economic Forum's Global Annual Competitive Reports. These are nations such as Norway, Sweden, and Finland. At the turn of the 20th century, these nations were so poor that people were escaping them and escaping the famines in droves, filling entire states in this nation, such as Minnesota. What happened now is that these countries actually are economically thriving. People are well cared for, crime rates are down, poverty is low, and what made that change were policies that invested in caregiving, in caring for their people. Policies such as generous paid parental leave, elder care with dignity, child care. And so it really has made a difference, and I think those three countries in particular are a great example.
Those are great examples to me personally, because I just visited those countries last summer, and one of the comments I heard was, why don't Americans want to pay taxes? Thank you very much for coming. I wish we had more time. It was great to have you on our show.
It's great to be here. Thank you.